member, Nakun Charan, and Ang Wei. So we'll be presenting about the Nike financial report, and I will be doing the opening of the company profile. And Nike is one of the world's largest athlete apparel company, and the company is well known for its footwear, apparel, and sports equipment. And this company was founded in 1964 by Blue Ribbon, and the name changed to Nike in 1971 after adopting the name from the Greek goddess of victory. Nike has other subsidiaries to increase their profit, such as Converse and Jordan, and they also sponsor athletes to promote their brands further. And I will be continuing in Nike's strategy. Nike's strategy is based on their competitive advantage to maximize their long-term shareholders' benefit. Their competitive advantage is their brand equity, innovations, global presence, marketing, customer base, customer loyalty, product range, and supply chain, and manufacturing. Nike has a statement to inspire people to not give up and work hard to reach their goals. They expanded their market research to identify the presence and taste of consumers since market, such as Japan, and they do tailor their products to make a perfect preference for consumers. Nike follows the newest trend every year and develop better technology for their apparel and footwear. Nike has become more environmental friendly, and they practice this to be competitively advantaged and allow consumers to be aware and of their brands. And I'll be talking about the management. The management is held up by the executive chairman, Mr. Mark G. Parker, who had previously served as president and chief executive officer from 2006 to January 2020. Then it changed to Mr. John J. Donhell, served as the president and chief executive officer, was appointed to this role in January 2020 and has been a director since 2014. He brings expertise in digital commerce, technology, and global strategy. And now I'll be passing on to Natkun Charan.
All right, thank you so much, Anjunik. So now we'll discuss the microclimate and macroeconomic environment and the sports apparel industry in general for 2020 and prior to that. So 2020, we experienced the COVID-19 pandemic, which brought many uncertainties with many countries and jurisdictions introducing lockdowns and health restrictions to curb the spread of the virus. And this unfortunately brought many economic implications, such as the real GDP of the United States declined by 3.5% in 2020, which is a significant contraction following the 2.2% growth in 2019. This was the most significant contraction during any year since 1946, and the projected growth of the US in 2020 was a negative 5.9%, according to the IMF. Now, the interest rates by the Federal Reserve was also reduced to almost zero during this time. And at the height of the pandemic, unemployment rose to over 13.1%. Now we come down to the effects on the industry as a whole. During this period, the industry's forecasted revenue had lost $20 billion from these additional forecasts. It was recorded at $119.5 billion. And during this period, the market valuation also experienced a contraction of 9.3%. And apart from that, sales volume dropped, and because stores were forced to be closed during these restrictions that were imposed. Apart from that, because many ports were closed, maritime trade also decreased by 4.1%, which culminated in this myriad of other issues such as supply chain issues and delays in shipments arriving, which will take years to resolve. Next, we'll go into the sports apparel key drivers. Now, the key drivers of this industry are: one, the increase in women's participation in sports and fitness activities, which has been driven purely by the increase in women sporting tournaments such as the ICC Women's World Cup, the FIFA World Cup for women, and the Women's FIH Hockey World Cup. Now, this increased participation in international tournaments with women has been a key driving force to get more women into the fitness space and take part in most physical activities and sports, hence driving up this demand, which has not been tapped over the past few decades, but has seen a huge demand in recent years. Next is the second driving factor is the increase in health conscious population globally, which has further been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, where we had seen a huge explosion in the number of downloads for fitness apps, because people were now had the choice of staying at home and working out, as they were now no longer permitted to attend fitness classes and training sessions at their physical gyms. Hence, apart from that, due to this new environment, the fitness space also attracted many new customers who were once a bit shy to participate in physical activities in a public gym or in the presence of others. And now, with the privacy of working out and enrolling in such programs within the comfort of their own home, this has caused a huge demand of new customers entering the fitness space to work out and choose a more healthier lifestyle and adopt a healthier lifestyle. This has caused a huge demand, which is expected to continue this trend going into the future. Now, the results and trends for the financial year of 2020, we have seen an increasing in the net operating asset and return on net operating asset for year on year, where Nike maintained its footwear and apparel market share of 41% and 22% market share among American teens. And the domestic market share of the United States decreased by 2% due to the increased competition between Nike's key competitors such as Adidas and Under Armour, and as also due to the decrease in sales due to the pandemic. And profitability and growth, Nike remained very profitable throughout 2020, with its highest change in ROCE attributed to the operating profitability RNOA. And this is reassuring, as the Nike has opportunity to increase further ROCE by actioning on financial leverage. Now I will pass it on to Shive, who will be talking about macroclimate and the apparel industry for 2021 onwards. Shive.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. The microeconomy is big growth, recover well for the economy lower to 2020. Its growth is helped with central bank. To assist the growth of economy, microeconomy environment has big growth of 2021. This growth is happening because of the rollout of vaccine removal, the health restriction. The sport apparel industry is forecasting to recover for the lower of 2020 and has a more positive outlook of 2021. However, there are few challenging unfolding, such as the COVID-19 second wave and relatively slow rollout to vaccine. A part of the pandemic is challenge facing the recession activity. The opportunity of 2021 is of potential rush, such as Olympic Games and Paralympic. After that, the sportswear market is projected to grow of 117.94 billion in 2021 to 267.61 billion in 2028 at CAGR of 6.6% in the forecasting period from 2021 to 2028. This rise of CAGR is caused by the big demand due to the relaxing of health restriction and returning the market to pre-pandemic level. This growing market is for sport apparel equipment is caused by the growing urban population who are more active in physical activity. For financial year 2021, with Nike transformation supply chain by having great regional diversity, the growth forecasting of the company operating income is $2.89 billion and growth rate of Nike is 6.1% and the ROI of 2021 is 36.1%. As a result, the company is projected to continue to grow. The investment decision, the Nike shares are both because despite the challenge of the 2020, Nike is the immense growth potential as evident in the company RNOA, that currently at 40.95%. So now We will expand the SL sheet. I will pass to engineer and Nakucharan.
Thank you, Shiwei. So now I will be explaining about the Excel sheet for the shareholders of equity. Okay, so in 2019, we balanced $9,061,000,000, but apparently we didn't really balance adjusted equity, which is $9,386,000,000. As for 2020, it has a decreased of $8,237,000,000, and the adjusted equity of is $8,439,000,000. And now I'll be moving to the income statement. The income statement for 2020 has a decrease from 2019 of $1,000 plus. Then the core operating income in 2020 also had a significant decrease from 2019 of around $1,000 billion. Then in the operating income, the operating income net is downstairs. It's down there. Yeah. Operating income tax, there also a decrease of around $2 billion. Then we have a finalized of for the 2020 of $3,505,000,000, and in 2019 there is $5,838,000,000. And now I'll be moving into the balance sheet. So the NOA in 2020 has an increase of $400 of $19,645,002,000. Okay, then now for net operating assets, there is an increase in 2020 also around $1 billion. Then in financial assets, there's a significant increase of $8,600 million. And the total equity shareholders is $9,089,000,000, and for 2019 is $12,699,000. And I'll be explaining about the statement of cash flow. Okay, so we did two methods, and apparently we didn't have the same amount. And method one, we have $2,336,06, and method two has method two net method two has $7,714,40. And now I'll be explaining the profitability, and now I'll be passing this to Nat to explain the profitability and growth.
All right, thank you so much, Engineer. All right, so now the profitability and the growth of Nike. So we saw that the average NOA had a slight increase, from 2019 to 2020. However, the average NFA did take a significant decrease in 2020 over 2019. So did the average CSC in the same period. As we go down, we look into the systematic of the ROCE. The RNOA was 40.95%. The change in RNOA over this period is to negative 29.26%. The change in ROCE is negative 12.62%, and the change in CSC is negative $3,610 million. Now the change in CSC was negative $2,140 million. Next, we'll go into the common size and trend analysis. Okay. With common size analysis of the income statement, it was found that the gross margin for 2020 was 43%, a slight drop from 2019. The core operating income also took a dip in 2020 from 12% in 2019. The core operating income after tax also took a dip from 7% from 10.4% the year before, and the total operating income was at 1.6%. compared to a percentage drop from the year before. Next, we will now go into the common size analysis of the balance sheet. All right, in here it was